What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Learn with Jason. Today on the show, we have. I asked about pronunciation. I'm going to get this wrong, but I'm gonna say it. Khaled Garbaya.
Wow, impressive. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on. I'm super pumped to do this show. I think it's going to be a really fun one, and I think really useful. We hear a lot of people talk about Contentful as a CMS to power Gatsby. So today we're going to do that. We're going to build a Gatsby site, and we're going to use Contentful to manage the data. So before we start, do you want to talk a little bit about who you are, how you got here, what you're interested in? Do you like walks on the beach? Like, what's your deal?
Okay, so my name is Khaled Garbaya. I'm a software engineer. I work actually at Contentful. My day-to-day job is writing and maintaining SDKs and tools, and also writing APIs for developers to work better with Contentful. How I got here, I love this live stream, and I actually pinged Jason. Is like, hey, it would be cool if we can make an episode about this, and here we are. I love walking at the beach, coming from a Mediterranean country. So I'm originally from Tunisia, and yeah, we have some great beaches there. Other than that, yeah, I'm actually been in Berlin for 6 years. I also run the Jamstack Berlin meetup. So if you have a nice talk and you are in Berlin, just come in and yeah, let's talk. Yeah, it's in North Africa. Yeah, exactly, that tiny country.
So you probably know this, but the Achilles heel of pretty much every American is geography, and so I had no idea where Tunisia was. Um, I've heard the name, and
Yeah.
this is super cool. So yeah, I where should people go if they go to Tunisia? Should they go to Tunis?
If you're a beach kind, you can go up to the north. You see like this fist in the water
This
up
one
from
here.
there. Yeah. And then if you go a little bit to the left, there's Bizerte. That's the one it's actually nice.
Oh
Yeah,
wow,
like the whole coastline is really nice.
that's beautiful.
So yeah, make sure to visit it. And then if you're into desert and stuff, you can go all the way to like south, really down. You can see we have like we're part of the yeah.
Oh cool. So there's all sorts of stuff going.
And
Tatooine. Oh my god.
so I can tell you a story about Tatooine. So you know the Star Wars Tatooine. That's actually it's named after this city because you know that the first episode was filmed in Tunisia,
Was it really?
the Star Wars.
Oh wow, this yeah,
Yeah,
you can see the influence, huh?
yeah. You can actually Google like Star Wars Tunisia, and then you can see the actual scene. It's still there, and people are going there.
Oh, that's fascinating.
So now
Okay.
you know the history of Tatooine.
I love it. I love that makes me so happy. All right, cool. So I think that we can maybe say that concludes our geography lesson for the day. Let's jump over and let's talk about Contentful. Holy buckets, did that just work? Sound effects are starting. All right, so what about Contentful? Let's talk through how this is going to work for us.
Okay, so you can think of Contentful as like the content infrastructure for your stack because, as you know now, Jamstack is actually like the low level stack become a little bit higher now. It's like you have content, you have payment, and other stuff, and these can be provided via API. So Contentful fits in the content bucket, and it actually gives your editor a nice web app so they can edit content and distribute the content through a CDN, and you can access it with like the API, as you can see in that nice banner. And with that, also, we give you full flexibility. If you're a developer, you can actually extend the platform. You can build your own fields if you have a specific use case for that, and so on. Yeah, so basically Contentful, and it actually integrates well with all the cool stuff that we have right now, Netlify and so on.
Cool. So I'm just signing up here,
Yeah,
and let's see. Oh, that one's already been taken. So let's use my other one. Does that work?
maybe an
Oh,
org
fine.
name.
We'll
Like
make it
lives.
learn with Jason. How about that?
Yep.
Okay. What?
So we can do I develop content rich product,
Okay.
or we can skip that. So this will basically it will go take you through
Oh, hey, look.
explains what Gatsby is, what Contentful is, sorry, and then in 5 minutes you'll manage to deploy your app actually to Netlify
Yeah.
from Content.
I really like this.
So
Is a
this is
cool
also
graphic. I like this.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna skip though because I want you to teach us what's going on.
Yeah.
So let's see. I have
So
yeah. What do we
you're
want to
now
do?
in this space home.
Okay.
You can think of a space as like the container of your content. So it's like your project.
Okay.
And first thing we need to do is to define like the blueprint of our content. So we need to think what do you want to build and what are the components that will make up this site. I
Okay.
would avoid thinking in terms of pages, and I
Okay.
think in terms of content component. So what makes, I don't know, a landing page, what makes a blog post and everything, and then we start from there.
So okay. So if we're thinking in terms of content types, we wouldn't say like this is a blog page and this is the home page. You would instead think like this is a post and then I have an
Yeah,
author and then I have a comment,
yeah,
like that.
yeah. And these will like make up the page
Okay.
because you need to make your app kind of data driven more than a use case driven, which is actually what Gatsby also does.
Okay.
And that works very well with that.
Very cool. Okay. So if I want to start that, am I going to like the content model? Am I creating a new space? What should I do?
So we are in a space now. So the space was created.
Okay.
We can do a content model. We can go to content model, and now we can see we don't have any. So we can add content model.
Okay. All right. And what do you think we should do? I'll let you drive this because you're going to know what takes the most time.
I think the simplest case would be like maybe we have a post, but we can have learn with JSON. So since we named this learn with JSON, maybe we can say like lessons or something.
Sure. Let's do that.
Yeah.
So we've created a lesson. Now we need fields.
Fields. Yeah.
Let's do.
A text field that we can give it first the title,
Okay.
and
More
it
than
will be
one
like a short
value.
text. That's fine. We can hit create.
Okay. And then.
The body of the lesson can be rich text.
Okay. And now is this automatically going to give me some kind of a WYSIWYG editor?
Yeah, so it will give you like WYSIWYG editor. You can also reference other entries inside of the editor.
Okay.
And we also provide few libraries like React renderers, so you can actually capture all elements and render them however you want.
All right. Pop quiz. What
This
does
works
WYSIWYG mean?
well with this also works very well with design systems. So if you want to intercept all the elements and then replace them with your own components, styled components, and then
Oh.
inject the content, this is like that.
Oh, okay. So basically when I'm in this description, like if I'm reading it out of Contentful, I can inject my own components, or do I do that here?
It's when you read that, so you get like
Okay.
a JSON representation and all the functionality we already provide in libraries. So yeah.
Cool. All right, and the chat came in with the what you see is what you get. Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome. So, oh no, I got an unstable internet note. That's good. Let's hope that doesn't.
might be my internet also though.
Well, that's
So
that. It's complaining
yeah,
about mine. So, fingers crossed here that this doesn't go weird.
yeah.
Okay, so we've got a title and a
So
description, and I guess probably we
okay,
want to
so also we can have an author. So this can be a reference
a
that we
reference.
will create later. So we can call it author,
Okay,
for example.
these settings cannot be changed later.
Yeah, it's just one reference.
Okay,
But
okay.
in case you have a lesson with many authors, you can have many references.
Or like if you had a like tags or something and you wanted to connect multiples, you could do
Yeah,
it that way.
exactly.
Okay, very
Like
cool.
a categories and stuff. We
Yeah.
can add another reference for SEO. So you can actually, so we can attach some SEO metadata through another entry to your lesson.
Okay.
And that will work with your SEO component in the starter. That's always great.
Okay. And then I guess
Okay,
the
so
last thing would maybe be to like actually link to the thing. So
video
like
or something.
yeah, let's
Yeah,
would just be like a yeah, let's
you video. Yeah, could be a video. And instead of hitting create, you can do create and configure,
okay.
and then go to appearance to the top right,
Ooh.
and you can click URL. So this also will help you to like preview the URL and if it's right or not. And this help text also you can provide some information to your editors when they edit that.
Or in my case, a note to self. Let's put that one up here.
Yeah,
I love this is a nice little drag and drop interface. So this makes
yeah,
sense to me. That seems like a good move. And
yeah.
so now I
And
save.
save, and we need to create the author and the SEO content type.
Um,
We go back to content model
content model.
and
Then I'm
then
gonna
add content type.
okay. So we'll do an author,
Author.
and for the field, we can probably just put a name, right?
Yeah, name. And I mean, you can add stuff later that will show up. You can always update your content types.
What's the keyboard support like
Okay.
for the drag and drop? Let's find out.
It's actually accessible. So
Okay,
if you go to the other, let's try that.
let's do this. We'll just add like a Twitter. I'm gonna make this a URL.
Yep.
And so, okay, so now if I come in here, how do I?
Is it like up and down? Yeah.
Whoa, that is
Whoa!
cool.
Poo! Need some. Yeah.
I need the air horn. Like, that's a man. I don't know if Marcy or Amberly are watching right now,
Holy
but that's
buckets,
like
did that just work?
they're probably just like yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's very cool. I'm super happy to see that actually. Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll save that
And
one.
then we need the SEO one.
Okay. SEO.
SEO, and then we can have
What, like a
like keywords and stuff like that.
title and or no, we probably want not rich
Not
text.
the rich text though. Yeah.
Text, and this can be a longer text, I think.
Yep.
For description. And I'm gonna skip keywords because they're not super useful, I don't think.
Yeah, and then we hit save. And if we go really quickly to the first content model, we can actually make some validation. So we only accept author type in the author reference and so on. So if you hit settings and validation, accepts only author.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Must
And you can type,
include an author.
Yeah.
So we'll
And
make
then
that
it can be
required too.
required.
Okay.
And then you
same
save.
with SEO.
We can do the same for SEO too.
Okay. So that has to be SEO. And we can make that optional because it's not a good idea, but technically you should be able to do whatever
Yeah.
you want. Okay, so we've got our reference.
Cool.
Okay.
So let's create some sample data. So you
Ooh.
can click add entry, and there you can click lesson
Okay.
and
And
give it a nice title.
let's go look at
The YouTube playlist.
let's get one. So
Yep.
on Monday I had Swizzik
With the
on.
bird, yeah. I watched this today, actually.
Yeah, this one
It
was a
was
lot of
very
fun.
funny.
All right, so we'll pause that before it starts talking at me, and then we'll where was I? Here. We will say data visualization in React with Gatsby. I think that's what I called it. Drop in this link. Oh, cool. It's going to do a preview?
Yep.
Oh, that's slick. I like that a lot. I did not realize that was going to happen. Okay, that's even cooler. And then let me just copy paste the description. So let's just grab all of this and we'll come back in here.
And it's all for you. It also accepts like a rich text and then automatically generate the links and stuff.
Yeah. And so if I wanted to hit buttons, I could. I'm not going to do that. Oh, let's try this. Let's just add one so that we've got it. No. Okay. It's got, these are not, there we go. Those were like line breaks, not actual element breaks. Okay, so this is cool. I'm into it. I like this. Make that into... Okay, I'm making this harder than it needs to be. What have I done? Okay, how about that? I'm leaving that alone. That's plenty. Oh God. Shut up, chat. I'm feeling pretty judged right now. Okay. Oh no, I have to do a thing. I need to add a new author and link. Oh, cool. And it's going to let me do this just like right from the thing.
Yeah, it can create something from the thing right away. And then your Twitter.
Okay. Publish. Okay, and I've already noticed a problem with this content model that I'm going to need to fix. We don't need to do it now, but it just occurs to me that, what do you mean you can't access the URL? Don't give me that business. But I would want to include the guest, right? Like I would want to have a link to the guest, not necessarily to me.
Yeah, that's actually.
So actually, let's do this. We will pretend that the author is actually. There. So we're going to use that instead. So this will be the guest, not the author. And then for the SEO, we could do something like, let's see. Just grab this one again. And then here, we'll take just the first bit. Drop it in, and then I'll get rid of the link. And I think that's good. Okay.
Cool.
So now...
And then you need to publish the main lesson now.
Publish. Okay.
So if you go back to content, we can see 3 content created. And then you can, if you go up to the content type any, and then click lesson, you can see only the lesson. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then I can like add other filters and...
You can add other filters and so on. You can also like type and then you'll have kind of autocomplete in there. Yeah, like author and yeah. Yep.
Why didn't that work?
Yeah, I think we need to do, I forget the syntax about that, but.
Click to select. Oh, you have to like actually.
Yeah. You have to.
I understand.
ID. Yeah.
Okay. I can work with that. And then if I do click in here, I can like, oh, I can't. Why can't I? That's weird.
Yeah.
It seems like you should be able to search for that.
I'll
Product
make sure to
feedback.
show this to the front end team. So don't worry.
Let's see. Okay. Yeah, cool. So we now have a lesson. We have, if I clear this back to any, we've got SEO data for that, and we have an author. And now if I go through and what happens if I just edit this? If I go, I want to try this because I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm going to edit this and I'm going to change it to guest. Now, is it?
But if that's the name, you can see the name actually changed. If you hit save, obviously.
Oh, hit
after
save.
you hit save. Yeah. But the ID, since it's linked to other content, it will stay. If you go sys ID, it's author.
Okay, so if I was going to do something with this, I would have to delete this field and re-add it.
Yeah, and then if you try to delete it, will tell you, hey, you actually have some content linked to that.
Okay, no, that's fine. You know, if this was going to be a real thing, we would need to go back and fix that. But since it's demo, we'll roll. All right, so do you want to add? I feel like we probably don't want to spend the whole time doing data entry, so maybe we just go build the site.
Yeah, maybe we can. So for a content model, since I think Gatsby is using the name instead of the ID, we can change it back to author so we won't have confusion.
Sure. Yeah, that's probably smart. Content model.
We can go to the content model and
guest.
Yeah.
Edit.
I mean, we can also use guest. So
yeah, it's fine. We'll do this.
Yeah, it's fine. All right. Let's do some coding then.
Let's do it. I have set up. I've got an empty folder here. So in it, you want to start from like all the way scratch?
Yeah, let's start from scratch.
All right. So what I'm going to do is, Gatsby new, put it in this folder, and we will use the Gatsby starter hello world, which is just going to give us a kind of a basic hello world page, and that's really all.
Yeah. And elevator music.
Ooh, good timing on the elevator music today. Okay,
Yeah,
and then over here somewhere, we have our site. So this is the index file. We've got a Gatsby config with nothing in it, and our only dependencies right now are Gatsby React and React DOM. So from here, we can start doing things. So what do I need?
So we need a dependency. We can add the Gatsby contentful source or source contentful, yeah.
Anything else?
And I think that for now, that's it.
Okay, let's give it a shot. And then while we're waiting for that, I'm going to pull up Gatsby source contentful, and we will post a link to that in the chat. And also, by having this up, I will have a reference on how to install it. Okay, so we're going to need a space ID and an access token. So let's start by setting this up. In here, we're going to add our plugins. And then let's see, we want to resolve to Gatsby source contentful. And our options, we needed what now?
Space ID and access token.
And access token.
Yeah, and it's not that bad if you show the token because it's only read only.
Okay.
But yeah, best practice is always to use environment variables.
Okay. And so I am gonna set up a .m file, but since you said it's okay, I'm going to not worry about hiding this token.
Yep.
And if you all want to make websites to show off the Learn with Jason content, I honestly don't mind. I'm totally on board with that. And so up here, Gatsby ships with .env, so I'm just going to require .env and .config, and that's going to pick up our .env file. So I'm going to save that, and then we need to find, how do I find my space ID?
Okay, so if you go to settings, and then API keys.
API keys.
We already create an example key for you, but you can add
Yeah, let's just
other
add one.
API keys. Yeah. You
So
can give it
this
a
will be our
name.
Gatsby read token. So here's the space ID. So I'm going to drop that in here.
Yep.
And
And that's the delivery API. Yeah.
Which one do I
There's
want?
also the preview token. The preview token is used mostly for if you have content that's not published yet and you want to see it and test it in your website, you can actually use that token. And it's also read-only. So both of the tokens are read-only.
Both are
And
read-only. Oh, okay. But so this is actually kind of interesting because what you're saying is like if I use this one, I'm only going to get published content. So this would
yes,
be like the production read-only token. And then
exactly.
if I was working locally or if I was using like Gatsby Preview, I would want the
Yeah,
Preview API token because that would show me my draft content so that
yeah,
I could see what something looked like before I publish it.
exactly. Yeah,
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I like that. So we're doing development, so I'll grab this Preview API token. And then I'm going to go
yeah,
back in here, save that, and then save here. And that's it, right? I just
yeah.
restart.
If we do yarn develop,
Okay, let's see how it
it
goes.
will pull some content. Yeah, you can see there.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, interesting. It's you know what? I think we have a bug in Gatsby because I think what it's doing is it's parsing dependencies, and because we're not installing the plugin yet, it's finding undefined
Ah,
GraphQL stuff. So once but we did install the plugin. Oh no. What? Contentful? Did you mean Contentful SEO?
contentful sizes.
That's like the image
Was
stuff, right?
that
That's
it looks like
interesting.
the image stuff, but I don't know. Yeah, you can see the contentful stuff. So
Well, maybe we just ignore that for now then.
nobody saw that, right?
Yeah, just everybody just okay. So let me get rid of this. This is some stuff from a demo I did yesterday, so we'll close that up. And now
Yeah,
we have our contentful lessons, and then let's just start
yeah.
by getting the title. Okay, so we're already in
And
business. We've got our data coming in.
yep.
What let's see, what else do we want to so do you want to talk us through kind of how the individual things work? Because like I just queried a text field, but we've also got like the references, we've got
Yep.
the rich text, so we can play with that.
Yeah. So the source plugin uses under the hood the SDK, and the SDK actually will resolve all these references for you. Because if you look at the raw JSON, most of it is actually links and with IDs, and it links to another entity
So
in
like it's
the array of JSON.
like a
But the
normalized REST
SDK will
API.
but the SDK will resolve all of that, and it will be also resolved in Gatsby. So if you go to author
Author.
and then pick name and then try, you can see we resolved all the stuff for you.
Very cool. Okay, and so the URL, it looks like it's going to bring back that URL. So that preview stuff is
Yeah.
only for the dashboard. There's not like any resolutions that happen
Yeah.
in the public data.
Yep. And
Cool.
also, if you go to, let's take a look at the rich text.
Rich
It's
text.
different structure. So I think body, was it body or description?
Description, I
Yeah,
believe.
description and then JSON. So that's what
Ooh,
we will be
okay.
using. But to render that, we will need our React renderer
Got
to
it.
display this data. We will show it
Okay.
later.
Okay.
Yeah.
And before we move on, it looks like I missed a question a second ago from Ecomath. He asks, are you charged per content or request threshold? So I guess how's pricing on Contentful?
House pricing. If you go, I don't know, if you go to Contentful pricing,
Pricing.
yeah.
Let's see.
Da, da, da.
So a micro space, 24
But
content types.
we have also the free model, which is actually allows you to have two spaces and up to,
Is it
I think that it's up to,
developers deploy your first app in 5 minutes. First space is free, so you get one free micro space,
yeah.
10 free users, and a sample app.
And also you get up to, I think, 25 or more content types.
It says it's
And
one free
I don't
micro
think
space, so it looks like 24 content types.
yeah,
Okay.
that's the micro space, but you get it for free. And
Cool.
also 5,000 record.
Yeah,
Yeah,
5,000
and
records.
I think there is some limit on the API calls, but I think it's like over 1 million or so, and 1 terabyte or something of bandwidth. So
Okay, so that seems pretty
yeah,
okay.
so it seems like pretty. I think it's very generous, and if you go over that, probably you have a bigger project, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm no expert in pricing, so I might be wrong in some of the places.
Aw, Eco Math, I appreciate that. He's making sure no one can charge me money. I'm glad you're looking out for me because I certainly was. That's okay. You know what? I take it back. Eco Math. It's not
Damn
Christmas.
it!
every time, the chat loves trying to make me spend money. And whenever Ben Lannon and Chris Biscardi get in a room together, they always have something that they make me buy.
Yeah, and also like for enterprise and stuff, we also provide some trial spaces so they can have actually big spaces with all the feature enabled, so they can play around and see if it fits for them or not.
Cool.
So,
All right, awesome. So we can, we can. Oh God, Chris Biscardi is here. Now it's time for me to spend money. Okay, so let's actually get something up on the screen. So we've got our contentful lesson coming in. We pulled in the title, the author. Let's look at the SEO. And so with the SEO, it should just be the title and description. There it is. Oh, what's up, the Primogen with a party of 74? Holy crap! All right, hey everybody, welcome to the show where I get talked into spending all my money with Chris Biscardi and Benjamin Lannon. So yeah, we are currently building out a Contentful and Gatsby site. We've got Khaled Garbaya on. We are configuring our Contentful space. So we've set up in our content model. Let's save that. We are working on our content model. We've got a lesson, and that lesson allows us to put in the video link and the title description, an author reference, and an SEO reference. And then our author model is for the people on the show, so the name and Twitter. And the SEO is for the title and description SEO tags. So we want to get that figured out. We've put together one entry. So we have the lesson itself is data visualization in React, which is what we did on this stream earlier this week. It's this episode here that you can go and watch. And then we added some SEO tags and some author tags. And we then set up Gatsby source Contentful in our Gatsby site. And I was told that it's okay to show the Contentful tokens because they're read only. And Ecomath checked up for me. We can't get charged money for using those, so we're all safe. And now we're at the point where we're actually writing a GraphQL query to access this. So this is a GraphQL query in Gatsby using Gatsby's GraphQL Explorer. We are pulling Contentful data down. And so at this point, what's our next step?
So we can actually take part of this query. Let's first display the list of lessons.
The list of lessons.
And then we will have like a detailed page that will show the author and inject some SEO stuff and so on. So
okay.
Yeah.
So this one, we probably want to be a list of lessons. So we will say, let's make that say it's the recent episodes, and then we need to okay. So I assume I need to do a GraphQL query here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pull in GraphQL from Gatsby, and then I'm going to set up our query. And should I just grab that query that we already wrote?
Yeah. Not all of it though. Maybe the title.
So we want the title.
And yeah, let's take the title and have a list with the title, and then when we click on it, it will show like a detailed page that will show the author and more stuff. But if you also want to include the author in there, maybe you can do like by author name.
And then to avoid having to write a slug, I think I'm just going to pull in the ID. Those are going to be awful URLs, but we can use them. So I'm going to take...
yeah, we missed the slug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, no, let's go edit our content model and do it.
We can add it really quickly. So, yeah.
So I'm going to go into my lesson. I'm going to add a field. It's going to be a... Do I want to use a text field, or is there a special type?
Yeah, it's a text, and then you call it slug and click create and config. There's actually a slug. If you go appearance.
Oh, nice.
Slug, yeah.
And is that going to generate
this way, when you actually type anything in the title, the slug will be generated automatically for you.
Oh, cool. Okay, so let me
So
save
like
that.
next time you create a lesson, like a new lesson, if you type, I don't know, the name of the lesson, the slug will gets generated. Now this is because this is an old one, but if in new ones, actually it will generate the slug for you.
Okay, so I've done that, and then instead of the ID, we'll get the slug, but I need to stop and start the, whoops, whoa there. Need to stop and start this server because we changed the model. Okay. All right, and we're ignoring those errors because I think that's a regression in Gatsby, because I saw that happen with another plugin earlier. And once I refresh this page, there we go. We've got our slug. So we were able to add that in Contentful, get it into Gatsby real fast, and now we can build out a list. So let's take this query, go in here, just paste that in straight up, and now whatever happens in this query is going to be delivered to this component as data. And then we'll be able to do, so this becomes data, and we can go all Contentful lesson. Let's alias this.
Yeah.
And so now we'll be able to go data.lessons.nodes and do something with it. So let's go data.
You know, I always use Edge's node, and today I learned about this node.
So this is kind of this is like a sneaky little shortcut. We didn't tell anybody that we did it. Yeah. So here's a question. Vishang Sony, I'm so sorry for what I just did to your name. So if you change the model, does it only apply to the new content?
It actually also applies to the old content.
Okay.
And it depends on the case, but in complex cases, we have also the migration tool that will help you to actually migrate all your content in a programmatic way. So I hope we'll have some time left, and I can show a few stuff there. We already thought about updating our content type at some point. So maybe we'll add we'll update the lesson to have author and guest. We can actually do that through the migration tool, but we can do it once we have the website up and running.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so then I'm going to have my H2. That will be a lesson dot, what was it? Title?
Title, yeah.
And then we can say
by, and then
with lesson dot author dot name, and I guess we're just doing a list, aren't we?
Wrap that in the link object, in the link tag.
Yes, that is a good call. Let's get a link. So since it's a local link, we're going to use the Gatsby link. Link to, and we'll just link to slug.
Good catch with the backslash. I always miss that.
I know. I bite myself. Definitely trip myself up a lot with that. Oh my God, what's happening? Come over here. There we go. All right. So now what we should get if I go back to localhost 8000 is an error. And the reason that I got an error is what? Maybe I need to
Slug
stop
is
and
not.
restart. Holy buckets, Chris is going bonkers over here. Thank you so much. It's like five gift subs. Holy crap. Thank you. Why
Not
what are you?
defined.
Oh, I know what's happening. This is my fault. I did this, but it's actually
Listen,
this.
the slug.
Okay, but this is not good. What is happening here? Gatsby
I think
contentful
it's
fix.
looking somehow for these sharp plugin stuff.
Yeah, that's. Does Gatsby source contentful require the sharp stuff?
I'm not sure, but probably maybe we can install the sharp plugin and then
Contentful assets. Gatsby source file system. Oh, I bet I need. If it's using Gatsby source file system, we probably need to install it. So let's do that. We're gonna
maybe also we
add
can add the sharp
Gatsby transformer
yeah.
sharp and Gatsby plugin sharp.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Try that again. We'll run a yarn develop and see if maybe it's just pulling those things. We might have to actually configure these. Nah, it doesn't like that. So let's go back in here, and I'm going to Gatsby transformer sharp and Gatsby plugin sharp. And then what? Do I just need to file system
source
with no
file system maybe? Yeah.
with nothing? What happens then? I've never installed Gatsby source file system with nothing.
Me too.
Please pick a path. Okay, so we need to set something up. So I will use one of my favorite tricks, which is to create an empty folder. We'll call it boop.
Yeah.
And
Boop.
we'll resolve it here. And then we'll set up the options to be path boop. Okay, let's try that one more time. Let's see if we still get those errors. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, you punk. Why are you like this? Let's see.
Maybe we can see the results now. No?
Still can't see the results. So what are we missing? Let's try.
Maybe deleting the cache and public folder and try again, or
Yeah, I can. Yeah, let me try that. Let's see. Gatsby clean. What was that? Did you just not like that? Why is it locking up? Oh no. Oh no. Did it delete those folders for us though?
it should. Yeah.
Okay, and let's run yarn develop. Uh-oh. Do the thing. Do the thing. All right, so I'm wondering if this is actually an issue with like an outdated, like I think this might be something with like a newer version of Gatsby. So I'm going to do something that I don't like to do, which is pin the version. And let's just pin it to like 50 and see what happens. Because I think this is pretty new. Gatsby publishes a lot of patches. So going back 23 patches should hopefully get us before the regression. I hope. Oh no. Oh boy, we got bad business.
Some what is it? I have some projects with working versions, so maybe I can.
Okay. Add a media type with a dummy pick. Ooh, that's actually a really good. That's a good idea. Is it because we haven't? Is it because we haven't created any media? How would I?
Uh, but that shouldn't be required. This is weird, though.
It shouldn't
What's the
be.
version of the source Contentful you have? Is it 2.1.19 or something?
Let's find out. I am using 2.1.25.
Maybe try 19.
19. Okay. Let's check the lock file. 2.1.19. That's the only one we're using. So let's try this one more time. What's your Gatsby version in that working project?
It's 2.13.61.
Okay. Do you have other things installed like Sharp and file system and stuff?
Yes, I have Sharp. I have file system. I have also transformer skip, but I'm not sure if that's
That
also.
that one definitely shouldn't matter. Let me do the yarn. Do you have media assets in your demo? Because I'm wondering if this is an
Yeah.
issue where the content types aren't being inferred, and that's causing the error. So I think maybe we just need to add an
I
asset.
definitely have assets in here, but
Okay, let's add an asset because my instinct here is that whatever we're doing is it's breaking because we don't have an asset. So if I just like
yeah.
add an image in here, is that going to be enough? Do you think?
Yeah, we can try that. Yeah, and then asset.
Create a new
You
asset.
can click create a new asset.
Let's do over here. I've got
Maybe a screenshot from the video or something would also work.
yeah. I've got here. This is you.
You
Oh
need to
no!
first click create.
Here, I was so hopeful that that would just work. Um, let's see. All right, here we go. Asset, create new asset, and we'll call this image. File selector.
Yeah,
Let's see. This is the Swizik episode, so let me get.
that this should work. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can click publish.
I better actually name that. Publish. Okay. And so
And
that
maybe we need to publish the main entry.
publish. Okay. All right. Let's try it
Okay.
again.
Let's try again. Okay, then probably we have a bug in the source plugin that I need to
Yeah,
take a look.
I actually think this I'm pretty sure is Gatsby's fault, but so that's a good thing because that means that we can also unpin these versions. So let's re-add Gatsby and Gatsby source contentful at
Yeah.
the unpinned versions. Thank you very much, Keyboard Ranger. I don't remember how to give points because I'm bad at these things, but I remember how to do this one. Okay.
Ooh, someone is VIP now.
All right. So cool. Then now that we've got these, I can run yarn develop, and hopefully what happens is everything just runs the way that we expect it to. At which point I should be able to actually load this thing.
Yep.
Let's do it. Let's do it. It's happening. All right.
Woohoo!
That's interesting that I use like a template literal in here. Let's close this up. Let's go over to the index and there we go. There we go. Okay. So that's doing a thing. We haven't built this page yet though, so we probably need to go do that.
Yeah. So we can go to the Gatsby node and.
I guess we need to create a Gatsby node.
Yep.
And then we're going to create pages.
Yep. I always copy paste the thing from the documentation.
This is this one I just know I know it by heart because I have to do it pretty much every stream. So we're going to get a result, and that's going to be the result of awaiting a GraphQL call. That GraphQL call is going to be all contentful lesson nodes slug.
We can get this. I think the slug is enough. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we just need to create the pages, right?
Const. Actually, you have an extra S in const.
Oops, I sure do. All right, then I grab out the reporter, and if we have errors, we will reporter dot panic, and then we'll say error loading lessons. And I learned the other day that you actually have to stringify this to get it to work. So then I'm going to do reporter or result dot
errors.
Okay.
Cool.
Then
otherwise we'll create the pages.
Exactly. So we can do result dot data dot all contentful lesson dot nodes dot for each. And inside of this, we can run actions.createPage. We want to set up the path to be the
slug,
lesson.slug.
And the context, we send the slug along because we'll use it inside the template.
Okay,
also
so
the
template, we haven't created this yet, but we're going to put it in source templates, and we'll say lesson template.
Yep.
And add a context. That context will be the slug, and that slug will be lesson.slug.
Slug.
Okay. So now that exists, we're going to have to create this template. So let's go template, team plates. Templates, lesson template.js. Import React from React, and then we're going to set up lesson template.
Yep.
And I think we're just going to be able to return like I just want to make sure this works before we get too deep into the data part. So there's our lesson template.
I think something wrong with React.
There sure was. Okay. So we've got our lesson template, and now if we build this, what should happen is it should take us through to an actual page, and that page will just show our to-do content. So let's take a look. Something's broken. It doesn't like created a page and didn't pass the path to the component. What?
Okay, that's new.
I typoed something.
Path, it's
component. That's my own fault. I was thinking in templates and I screwed it up. So let's do that. Okay, so that did what we want. So if I go back out here, we still got our list, but if I click through, now we have data visualization in React as our slug, and it says to do show lesson data. And if we, let's see, we're kind of done in there now. So what do we want to do next? We want to import GraphQL from Gatsby, and then we need to use
query.
And so in this case, we have to use an exported query like this, like a page query, because we need to use that slug in context. And because we passed it here, anything that gets passed in the context of a create page call is available
Yeah.
as a variable here. We know that's a string and we want it to be required. So it should fail if a slug doesn't get passed. That's what this little guy means. And then we can do, let's write this in here because that's going to make more sense to my brain.
We can do a
contentful
contentful lesson.
And then we're going to search by slug. And so we want the slug to equal
to,
and what was it? Data
the
visualization in React. And then down here, we can actually get some stuff. Let's make sure I got that right. Okay, that's the right slug. And so then what's the info we need, right? We need the video, description,
and description JSON.
And what was the other thing?
And author.
That's right.
Maybe name and the link to Twitter, so we can make like a nice anchor.
Yeah. And we need our SEO stuff too.
SEO like.
Okay, so what I don't think I want to take the time to do here is, wait, is this right? Description? Why is it?
Yeah, it's actually wrapped because that's that can, like, the long text actually also can be a markdown.
Oh, I understand. Okay, so here's our SEO.
But since we're not using markdown, we can use it as raw text.
Okay, here's our author. There's the rich text, which we'll have to figure out how to show. And then we've got the title and the video.
Yeah.
Okay, that looks right. So let's go in here. I'm going to paste this. I'm going to get rid of this one. And we've got one extra down here as well. And then we're going to use this slug here. Okay, so we have all of this data. That's going to come in here as data. And then we're going to show something with it. So let's set up a div. We'll do an H1 with the, let's see. I'm going to alias this again because that makes my life easier. So it'll be data lesson. Let's actually just destructure that, lesson. So now I can do lesson.title. And let's make sure that works. I'm going to have to stop and restart to get it to pick up that query. Let's see. And if I come back out here, okay, we're getting that. So then we can come in here and let's say, like, the guest is going to be lesson.author.name, and we can set up a link to their Twitter, which would be lesson.author.twitter. And we'll say, like, Twitter.
Yep.
Okay, that's what we want. I mean, that's kind of what we want.
Awesome. Oops. Okay, so now it's time to render some rich text.
Yeah, so how do we do that?
Awesome. So we provide the React renderer for that, so you don't need to do the parsing and so on, because we provide like, you have a tree and you need to go through it. And so what we need to do is install a few dependencies.
Okay.
So it's at contentful/rich-text-react and then -renderer.
I'm sorry, say what?
Renderer, yeah, like
renderer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and another one at contentful/rich-text types, and with dashes exactly.
Okay. Oh, I jumped the gun. Were those were the two?
Yeah, these are the two.
Parse it. I can't tell if you're into or upset by the font. And also, I am not using Dank Mono. I am using Operator Mono. There's a link to all the stuff that I use if you're into it. Okay, so that is working. So I'm going to run develop again. And
so let's go to the lesson. It's a named import. So import document to React components. It's a lowercase d.
Like that?
Yep. From the contentful, yeah, that one.
Okay.
Okay. And now we can go to the JSX and maybe have a div or something to contain that. And then call that function and give it the lesson.description.json. So this function will return a React component.
Lesson.description.json. And if I can spell.
Yeah, with the P, exactly. So now we should see some content. Yeah.
Ooh.
So
looks
these
nice.
are like the default ones. If you want, like you can see here, actually we added an image, but it's not displayed in there.
Mm-hmm.
So the document to React components actually accepts a second parameters, which is an object.
Okay.
And now we need to import blocks from the rich text types first.
Import blocks.
Yeah, blocks all uppercase as a named import. It's kind of a constant, so all uppercase blocks.
Oh, I understand. Okay, blocks.
Okay.
Wow, my spelling is 100% today. So I've got blocks.
Okay. Yeah, so there, and then let's add the key so you can open like kind of an array, like the square brackets, and then type blocks dot all uppercase. Yeah, you can see there embedded asset.
Okay, I'm.
And then,
Then after
that,
is this right? Like object and
yeah,
then
yeah,
array?
it's that will be treated as, it's a string, so it will be treated as a key.
I understand. Okay.
So that will be a function. You can do an arrow function that accepts node and children.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it will return a React component. Here we can return an image. We can either use the Gatsby image or even a normal image.
Wait,
and then the source will be.
Does Contentful like return an automatically set up Gatsby image thing, or do I need to run a query for that?
In this case here, not, because the plugin was not updated, and it's quite complex to actually inject stuff inside the rich text because it's not queryable. Okay. It's not actual GraphQL nodes. But yeah, hopefully in the future we'll have a.
So for now, we don't want to try to do that then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that will be node dot data dot target. It's gonna be long. dot fields dot file, and then square brackets, and then en dash us, like a locale.
Like so?
Yeah, string, and the US is uppercase. Yep. And then dot URL.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
alt you can do dot fields dot title. So it will be like node dot data dot fields, and then from there it's title. I think it's called title.
Like that?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So this should work and display the image.
Let's see, it didn't
Did
like
we
it.
save? Did we?
We saved. So I did this. Blocks embedded asset.
Do we have the image in the rich text? Did we?
I have no idea. Let's find out. Let's see here.
Let's see.
Asset.
Yeah.
Fields, title, file. Oh, we didn't.
Title English US, that's fine. And then.
Does that make a difference?
Maybe you can inspect the HTML and see if actually there's something, or.
That one came back empty, so I wonder if that's what it was. What if we just do something like this?
Yeah.
And then we'll comment this one.
Sorry. The syntax is wrong. So inside the object, the option object, so you can wrap all of that in another key, which is called render node. So
Here?
yeah, render node, exactly. And
And then
then
like this?
an object, and then you move all that block inside.
Whoops. Nope. There?
Yep.
How about that?
Yep.
Hey-o.
Yay, we have the
All
image.
right. Okay, so let's do a quick style cleanup here. Max width, we'll say, is 300.
But we can actually do another cool thing using the image APIs in there. So if you append to the image URL, like W equal maybe the max width. So it'd be like question mark and yep. And then question mark W is 300.
Nice.
And you can see that's actually a 300 pixel image. So what Contentful will do is transform the image and cache it for you. So the next hit, it will give you the cached image.
Cool. That's nice.
And you can also specify the quality and also crop the image and
How
do
do I...
a lot of.
Is the quality just like a queue?
Let me check the
Let's find out.
Contentful image API because it's here.
Is that changing anything?
I think some elevator music.
I think that changed it. Oh yeah, that definitely works. So if you set the queue to whatever value between 0 and 100. So I set it to 90. That looks okay. Yeah, I'm into it. Okay, so I feel like we've got some good stuff going here. So we were able to kind of get our lesson out. We pulled out our guest. We've got rich text. We figured out how to replace like our images with custom markup. So if we wanted to get wild, we could go through and build out like the source set object and everything that we needed for Gatsby. I think that's probably kind of outside the scope of what we really want to dive into here. But what if I want to replace like my heading? Can I just add another one of these?
You can actually add another one, give it blocks, and then you can heading one, for example, or heading two, and heading two, and then heading two will be exactly the same function. So it'll be like node and.
This is kind of it's making sense to me here. So I've got like here's our asset. Where was it?
Yeah.
Links, text, heading 2. So node type, heading 2. And then inside we've got content and value. And so if I want to mess with this, what I can do is go to we do node, and then I would return, let's just change the color on it. So I'll do H2 style color is red, and then I would do like node dot content dot value. Is that right?
I think the renderer will do some more transformation. So it will be like node and then children, and the value will be inside of the children object.
Oh, it would be inside children?
Yep. Because an H2 may contain other elements.
I understand. Okay, yeah, that totally worked.
So yeah, you can replace that also with if you have like a design system and or well-defined components, you can replace all of them or wrap them in a new thing. You can even wrap a H2 in an H1 if you want to troll some people.
You want to get real weird. So that's super cool. So clean that up a little bit. Well, awesome. So this all seems to be doing what we want. Do you want to So let's do this. You wanted to get into the migrations. We got about 20 minutes left. Do you think 20 minutes is enough time to do a migration?
Uh, 20 minutes. Let's try
Okay.
and then see. So let's install the Contentful CLI in like you can install it as a global dependency.
What's the package name?
Contentful-CLI.
Contentful CLI.
Yep.
Okay. I like that the chat has really gone off on a tangent discussing their favorite ligatures.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What's this? Is this one of those optional ones?
Yeah, it's I think it's some warnings, so it's
Optional dependency. Yeah, I don't. Okay.
optional. Yeah.
Okay. So I
Okay.
have the Contentful
So
CLI.
do Contentful space login, and you will have a browser window. You might want to show it outside of this. Before you click authorize, maybe you need to move this outside of the stream because this is a management token. And
Okay.
using this management token, you can actually read and write.
Gotcha. And so now I'm going to take this off screen, paste my token, and okay, it has the token has been added.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So maybe we can create a file there. Let's call it. So we want to add, like we said, we want to add a guest content type to Contentful. So
Yeah,
let's
Johnny
call
Bigodes,
it.
I trust you 100%. I absolutely believe you that you wouldn't use my token to troll me. you people and your empty promises and lies. Okay. So yeah, let's dive in.
Let's
You said
create a JS file for
okay.
that.
Wait, how do I
Let's
do that?
call it add author.js or something.
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we can open that.
Okay.
So first thing we do a model export, and it will be a function that accepts a migration object. Yeah. Okay, so the migration object, this will be passed to by the CLI to your code. So here you can actually create content types or edit content types. For our case, we will need to edit the content type. So we need to do const and then call it, which one you want to edit is the
Well, we wanted to
listen,
change
right?
author to guest.
Yeah, I mean that also, or we want to add the guest to the author.
I'm up for either. I think in this case we're here to learn, not to get it exactly right.
So to not like and additive things usually works, and for demo sake,
let's do it.
Adding will work more than changing most of the time.
Okay, so I'm creating a guest.
Yeah, so guest, and then will be migration dot create content type. First argument will be an ID, which is a string, so we can call it guest, lowercase guest. And then next is an object. Here will be name, so we can give it also guest, yeah. And then description, if you want to do that. Cool. So actually we can right now test this migration script. We can actually progressively create different migration script for every step. So that's always recommended.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can save this.
Do I not need to, so I don't need to make this a const?
Yeah, I think you don't need that. Because we want, maybe, yeah, sorry, we need actually to do that because we need to add few fields with it, right?
But we're going to do that later.
Yeah, or we can do it later.
Do we have to return it, or like? Yeah, I guess I'm not quite sure why Like what do we
So
do with this?
here we will create a content type, but it will be empty. So it's basically kind of useless. So I think it's a good idea to also add the fields in here. So
Okay.
yeah, so we do guest dot create field, and we give it. So we'll have also name.
Name.
Yeah, and then an object. This will have also a name. So can be name, and then type.
And just
And
text.
here it will be actually uppercase S symbol, like
that?
so this is the short text type. And we can make it also required, so we can do also required true.
Okay.
We can duplicate that to add also the URL. And it will be URL and of type symbol. Required can be false, maybe.
Okay.
Do we need something else?
Why did that? I don't know how I hit that button twice. Okay, so we have a name and a symbol. Then do I need to like return the guest or something? Or is it, this is just kind of how?
That should be fine.
Okay.
Okay, so now we go to the terminal and do contentful space. You can type actually space.
Oh, I was like, no, I did a space.
And then migration.
Migration.
And then we do, let me find the correct syntax to not. Just some, it's weird. I work with these tools every day, but I still need to remember all the syntax.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. So we have space, not that one, migration. Okay, so it's dash space dash ID.
And then I need my space ID, I assume.
Yeah, you give it the space ID.
Which was here.
Yep.
Is it equals or is it?
Yeah, it will work with a lot of syntax, even with the space. And then you give it the name of the file, which is create add author. Yeah, and then you hit enter. Yeah, so here it gives you a summary what will happen.
Cool. That's nice. Migration is planned. Guest, who's on the show. We've got the name and URL. And I'm going to hit yes, YOLO.
Yes.
Okay, and so now.
If you go to Contentful now, you can see a new content model.
Oh, dang. Look at that. All right, that's super slick, man. That's really cool. Holy buckets, did that just work? Awesome. Oh, and we have a holy buckets race. That was impressive. So, okay, so that's slick. And honestly, I feel like I feel like we're at a pretty like healthy stopping point here, right? Is there anything you want to cover before we wrap?
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, with of course with the migration, you can do more stuff. You can link this. You can transform entries. We can talk about this like for days.
Yeah, and unfortunately we are.
I mean the thing behind migration is always what I say, that we don't get the content modeling right from the first time. Mm-hmm. And the migration tool will help you always like evolve your content in programmatic way, so you can actually send this code to GitHub and other people can run different migrations and so on. It's very powerful.
Sure. Ecomath, this is a sanity shirt. But yeah, so awesome. With that being said, Khaled, where should people find you? I've got your Twitter here. Throw that in the chat. Where else should people go?
So you can find me on Twitter. I also run a weekly newsletter digest. It's called learnjamstack.com. Yeah. You can see the nice logo there. My creativeness is
very good. I like it. I'm into it.
uh, yeah, so if you subscribe, I send a weekly digest with really nice resources, and I also have a list there about, wow, new subscriber, yay.
Getting in there.
Yeah, make sure you're not a robot.
I am not a robot. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm officially a subscriber.
awesome, cool. Yeah, so I send some digests. I also do courses in Egghead IO. So if you're interested in the Jamstack in general, Contentful and so on, I have also a course about Contentful and Gatsby. Yeah, that's
Instructors,
the
there you are.
first. And I have other lessons related to JavaScript and so on.
How do I get to your whole... What I really want is your whole list of things. Where's...
Yeah, I think if
There
you
you are.
do, yeah.
All right, instructors. There he is. Okay, go get those egghead lessons. That's some good stuff. Oh, I should have shared my... Joel gave me like an affiliate link for egghead, and that's always nice.
That's a missed opportunity,
Get those affiliate bucks, man. That's it. That was my coffee for the day. So, all right. So people are going to go follow you on Egghead. They're going to go get that Learn Jamstack letter, get you followed on Twitter. Anywhere else they should be looking for you? Oh no. Is that you freezing or me freezing? It's me freezing. Look at my internet go unstable.
Yeah, someone's internet is unstable. It's
Uh-oh. You're letting me down. You're letting me down, whatever provider I have, CenturyLink. You're killing me. All right, cool. So, Khaled, thank you so much for coming on.
yeah.
Everybody who's watching, please go over and follow or subscribe to my Twitch channel. Upcoming, we've got some really good stuff. Next Monday, Sarah Vieira, the internet meme lord and queen of building dumb shit, is going to come on, and we're going to build some dumb shit. It's going to be really fun. We've also got David from Strapi coming on. We're going to do some really fun stuff using it as a CMS. And then the one and only Ken Wheeler is going to come on. I think we were talking about doing I think we're going to build a step sequencer, like a beat machine. Got some animation and 3D stuff coming on with Paul Henschel, Sarah Drasner. We're going to do more 3D and animation stuff. It's the list goes deep. It's going to be so good. So definitely, subscribe, follow, all those good things. And until next time, I guess we'll see you soon. And stick around in the chat because we'll do a raid. Thanks again, Khaled.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.